All right, let's talk about something that's on pretty much every academic's mind right now, using AI to help write research papers. We're going to break down how you can use these incredible new tools for top-tier journals, do it ethically, and, without plagiarizing. This is a real game changer, so let's get into it.
This is the big question, right, isn't it? The one that's got this mix of huge promise, but also a little bit of anxiety. Can you actually use these powerful tools without tripping over an ethical line or getting flagged by some detector?
Well, the answer is a big, resounding yes. But, and this is a big but, it requires a pretty crucial shift in how you think about it. The key here is to see AI not as some kind of ghostwriter that's doing the work for you, but more like a super intelligent research assistant, a co-pilot, really. It handles the boring parts of the trip, while you, the expert, are still the one flying the plane.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at AI's new role in all this. Then we'll set up some really important ethical ground rules. After that, we'll walk through the whole process, step by step, from coming up with an idea to actually writing the paper, and then finally, how to get your work out there.
So first up, let's just frame this new world we're in. I mean, think about it. The era of spending weeks, literally weeks, manually digging through hundreds of PDFs or old library books, that's kind of over. AI is here to take on all that grunt work, which frees up your most important tool, your brain, for the stuff that actually matters, discovery.
Okay, but before we get to all the cool tools and tricks, we really have to lay down an ethical foundation. Seriously, these rules are non-negotiable if you want to maintain your academic integrity, and they're going to guide everything else we talk about.
Which brings us to Section 2, the rules of engagement. I want you to think of these as like the essential commandments for using AI responsibly in your research.
Okay, so here they are. Number 1, use AI to improve how your paper reads. It's a proofreader, not a ghostwriter. 2, and this one is so important, you have to write the core text, the main arguments. 3, think of AI as your brainstorming buddy. 4, and I really can't say this enough, you have to verify everything it gives you. Don't trust it blindly. 5, the big ideas, the conclusions, that's all you. AI helps, but the insight is yours. And finally, number 6, you've got to create your own original figures and charts. That's your job.
All right, with those rules locked in, let's get practical. Section 3 is all about getting from that initial spark of an idea to a first draft. And this is where AI starts to save you just a ridiculous amount of time before you've even written one word.
Just look at the difference here. The old way was, weeks of that painful process of reading paper after paper, just trying to find a gap in the research. The new way? You basically upload your papers to a digital library and just ask it, hey, what are the limitations of these studies? And you get an answer in minutes. Not months, minutes.
And there are specific tools that make this a reality. Something like SciSpace can come up with new topic ideas for you, complete with references. Avidnote can take your project idea and turn it into super focused research questions. And this other tool, Consensus, it does something that's just brilliant. It shows you exactly where other researchers disagree.
Now look at this. This is a perfect example of how you can literally see a research gap. You ask Consensus a simple question like, does zinc help with cold symptoms? And boom, it shows you the research is totally split. Almost half say yes, but over a quarter say no, and the rest are somewhere in the middle. That disagreement, right there, that's your research opportunity. That's a problem your study can actually solve.
And it just keeps going. In this early stage, AI can spit out the perfect keywords for your search. It can summarize articles for you, and it can even suggest different theoretical frameworks or research methods you might not have even thought of. We're talking about taking days or even weeks of work and squishing it down into a few hours. So let's build on that. Now we're in Section 4, writing and refining your paper. You've got your idea, you've got your framework, now it's time to face that blank page.
Staring at a blank screen is the worst, but a tool like Jenny.ai can take a simple prompt and just generate a whole detailed outline for your paper in seconds. And then when you're actually writing, a plugin like PaperPal sits right there in your Word doc and can answer questions or define things for you with references so you never lose your flow.
And this is where we see one of the biggest changes in academic writing, period. Those days of having to pay hundreds, maybe even $1,000 or more for a professional proofreader, they're pretty much over.
And why is that? Because a tool like PaperPal, which can check your entire paper for language, for flow, for consistency, it costs about $8 a month. That's it. This just makes high-quality editing accessible to everyone.
Okay, so your paper is written. Now comes all the prep work for submission. And yep, AI is a huge help here too. PaperPal can read your whole paper and draft an abstract for you. It can suggest a bunch of catchy titles, create keywords, and even fill out a cover letter template to the journal editor. It's wild.
But hold on, before you hit that submit button, there are 2 last checks that are absolutely critical. First, run your writing through an AI detection scanner, like the one in SciSpace, just to make sure you're in the clear. And second, run a plagiarism check. PaperPals is powered by Turnitin, which is the same software universities use, so you know it's legit.
Okay, last section. Let's talk about what happens after your paper gets accepted. Section 5, publishing and promoting your work. Because getting published is amazing, but it's just the start. Now you have to make sure people actually see it.
And you guessed it, AI can automate this part too. A tool like Avidnote can read your paper and write a whole Twitter thread about it for you to share. And SciSpace can do something that sounds like science fiction. It can turn your PDF into a promo video with slides and a voiceover. It can even clone your own voice so it sounds just like you're the one presenting it. And then the whole cycle just starts over. AI can go through the reference list of the paper you just published and start generating ideas for your next big study. It creates this amazing continuous pipeline of research.
It really all comes back to this one core idea. You are the pilot. Your expertise, your big ideas, your conclusions, that's what's driving the research. AI is just the best co-pilot you've ever had, handling all the instruments in navigation so you can focus on where you're going.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that AI isn't here to replace researchers. Not at all. It's here to augment our abilities. It gets rid of all the tedious, boring, time-sucking tasks and lets us focus on the part of the job that actually matters, the part no machine can do. The thinking, the creating, the discovering.
And that leaves us with a pretty incredible question to think about. When every single researcher on the planet has access to this kind of power, when everyone has an AI co-pilot, what kind of new breakthroughs, what kind of new discoveries are suddenly going to be possible?